What do you find between the black and the white? You find the gray. Hi, this is Gray Rinehart, and I am coming to you from between the black and the white. And on this first installment of this video series, I'd like to talk a little bit about education and curriculum, maybe from a different viewpoint than you've heard it before. Specifically, what I call the Musashi-Heinlein school. Now, when I say Musashi, I'm referring to Miyamoto Musashi, who was a samurai warrior and wrote this book, a strategy book, a book of 5 rings. And one of the things that may surprise you is in the book is become acquainted with every art. Now, Musashi, in addition to being a samurai warrior, was also a painter and a poet. He practiced what he preached in this regard. But notice that he didn't say, become the master of every art, but become acquainted with every art. And I think as a basis for developing a curriculum and a program of schooling, the idea that we could give every student the opportunity to become acquainted with, to be introduced to, and possibly even to allow them to practice every art is a great way to start. But now think about it also that art does not have to be fine art. It can also be practical arts. And so the question becomes, what are the arts that we need to be acquainted with? And for that, I turned to Robert A. Heinlein, who was a science fiction grandmaster, and in his novel Time Enough for Love, in the section The Notebooks of Lazarus Long, he gave us a wonderful quote that begins, "A human being should be able to," and then lists a large number of things. I'm not going to go into each of them in this segment. I'd like to keep this relatively short. But if there's interest, I might delve into them in future episodes. But a human being should be able to, according to Heinlein, change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, and so forth and so on. Now, some of these things you may never be called upon to do in your life, but most of us at some point will need to change a diaper, and knowing how to do it is a good thing. All of us who have bank accounts need to know how to balance our accounts. How many of us left school barely able to balance a checkbook, let alone to go on to a higher level of balancing the accounts for a small business? Or a large business for that matter. We may not need to plan an invasion or con a ship, but knowing how those things happen could be good. Knowing how a hog is butchered would certainly give us an appreciation every time we're going to cook some spare ribs or some bacon. Knowing how a wall is built gives us an appreciation for the work that goes into the structures that surround us all the time. So, putting those things together, the idea that we might give students an introduction to these things, let them become acquainted with a wide variety of arts, I think that's a wonderful way to think of the purpose of a school and the purpose of education itself. Now, I, of course, have written more on education, and we'll talk more about that as we go along, but I think we've spent enough time here today. I would like to thank you for watching this installment of Between the Black and the White. This is the first one. I would love to know what you think. You can send me an email. You can follow me on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. You can talk to me on the street and just tell me what you think. I appreciate the gift of your time, and I'm going to give you back the rest of your day. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep trying to make the world a better place. And remember, between the black and the white is gray.